Hello people, this is Power here to review the Kamen Saber DX Peter Fantasista Wonder Ride book. So this is the first individual ride book that was released for the toy line, because obviously initially this was supposed to be the Wonder Ride book Saber used via his cameo in Zero One's movie, but because the Zero One movie got pushed back to a winter movie, Zero One doesn't get to show up in that movie. So this just became like, here's a Wonder Ride book because we couldn't delay it. So yeah, this just got awkwardly released, which is why we have Saber Dragon Peter fan, because they can get away with copyright somehow. So yeah, these are interesting packed, because we have a flap here, and then here we have the front, and then here we have the right, which is interesting because we have obviously Saber Dragon Peter fan on here, which it actually does show the side, so you know, books look like books. This stuff we can do, the back, and yep. So here we have the Peter Fantasista Wonder Ride book. Obviously the secondary color is still black, but this one, its main color is really interesting. It's like this teal blue. It's a color I won't associate Peter Pan with, but I understand they can't go with the Disney one because copyright reasons. They have to merchandise their own rip-off versions somehow. Here's the cover, which obviously there's Peter Pan, Windy, and Captain Sook. This one is a first for us also. This one goes on the left side because it's based off a story, because I've been forgetting to address. The left side, the left slotted Wonder Ride books are supposed to represent stories. The middle slotted books represent animals. And the right slotted books represent godly beast, or just mythical animals. So yippee. And actually comparing these two, obviously, hint hint, these two are supposed to go together, which is why they're shades of blue. So that's nice. The inside cover, that's typical same stuff. There's the inside cover. I can't make out what this is supposed to be. And then there's the QR code for Gamba Rising. The transformation page. As you can see here, now it's just an arm, which is, I don't know why these are my favorites, just because of how vague it is. But again, I can't make this up. I can't make this out at what this entire thing is supposed to be, because I know the hook, but there's nothing of Peter Fan. So that's weird. And there's the Wonder Mark, of course, and let's just get through the sounds. That's the activation sound, which is literally the same activation, or it's literally, they literally used a sound from the Kamen changer, because that was bothering me for like the longest time since this Wonder Ride book released. I'm like, that sound is so familiar. What the heck is that? And then I was just playing with my Kamen changer, and I was like, oh shoot, it hit me. And so I quickly made a video on that, and a bunch of people recognized it too. So the description, or synopsis. So here we go with the sword driver. I really can't frame this thing. See, every time when I actually start filming these with the camera, it's just like my knowledge of, like, my previous knowledge of like filming them on my phone just gone. Anyways, because this is a left slotted book, we slot it here. Obviously, because it's blades, I have to use his stuff, and this is just where things would get difficult. So if you wanted more proof this was Blades, it, you know, shares the same exact jingle as Lion Senki. I thought the description was the exact same. It's just, it's slightly worded differently, and obviously at the end it has, you know, like fairy sounds instead of a lion. A vague lion roar. So, yeah. Obviously the Wonder Attack. Yep. Kuromagin. Kuromagin. Satsugiri. And at this point, because I think you guys get the point now, I'm just going to scan this to the max, just like what I do with the PowerRider keys. So, yeah. Obviously, as you saw from like when I was like flipping it through, obviously this portion comes out for this slot and such. But now, because we got the individual sounds done and over with, let's bring in Lion Senki and to do something. So I'm just gonna activate them like so, technically in show. Obviously, he opens them up and presses it, or you know, he opens both of them up and they activate. It's just difficult doing that in person. Now we're going to slot both of these in. Which, unlike the Jika driver, you can actually do them at the same, or simultaneously, instead of having to do one and another, because the sword driver can actually recognize you inserted both of them and can tell. But anyways, let's see the transformation. So there we have, I don't know, these forms aren't labeled, but there you get the, I'm just going to say Volume 2 form for Blades, Lion Fantasista, and we're actually going to take a look at the transformation pages now, because you can actually now see that the two pages actually correlate to each other, because Blades now has an arm that's going straight instead of whatever that is. So I really like how these actually connect. It's just something's clearly missing. I just don't like how this looks because it just looks off. But anyways, now because you have two books, you can push them both together and do the wonder attacks for both. Which I think that's a thing he did. Again, I haven't watched the show. Again, we can do finishers. However, they are different. So the Hisatsu Geki. And the sword driver is actually standing because I actually have stacked books. So there you get the Hisatsu Geki. However, now it's evolved from 1 book to 2 books. Now to do the Hisatsu Giri. The attack is still the same, it's just the announcement is different. And obviously, now we have 2 books. We can obviously scan the both of them. It's literally the same thing as just scanning the book. It's just a thing I haven't showed you. And the only difference is that it's going to flash, obviously because these books within the sword driver are programmed with the same LED, so they're just going to flash between the 2 colors. But yeah, that's essentially it for the Peter Fantasista Wonder Ride book. Which, this one just adds a lot to what you can do with the Saber toy line, because obviously I still haven't shown you everything yet, but it's just nice that with this book you can, like, you literally give Blades, like, it's not a power up, but you just give him an attached, I don't know what you call them, are they forms technically? He just gains a new arm. But so essentially, like, you get a new sound for Blades. I don't know what happened to the camera. I literally almost stopped filming. But so, like, yeah, I don't know what the heck happened, but I lost my blue. But so, you know, I like what this one adds, because obviously, like, you get another jingle by itself. Like, you can do a lot with this by itself already, and then on top of just adding it with Lion Senki, you get a completely new sound set. Not really, but you get a new jingle, and that's pretty cool. So for that, that's neat. Obviously, you can mix this with Brave Dragon, but I didn't show that because we'll show that in the next video for reasons. But other than that, you know, it's the start of something, because I have nothing else to say. This one should be easy to pick up just because it was one of the first things ever of Saber to get released. I actually managed to pick mine up for like 600 for like $6 new. So that's pretty neat. Because typically I had to get these for like $8. Spoilers. So, yeah, these should be easy to get. So this is PowerRider, and I'll leave you people. Bye. Gosh.